Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave from Corn Productions here to talk about The X-Files, Season 2, Episode 6, titled Ascension. The episode's description reads as follows. Mulder and Agent Krycek are in a race against time to rescue the abducted Scully before crazed Dwayne Barry can take her to what he believes to be his alien puppet masters. The episode was written by Paul Brown. This is his first of 2 assignments on this series. I've talked about him plenty as he wrote several episodes of Quantum Leap. The episode was directed by Michael Lang, who last directed Miracle Man. The episode originally aired on October 21st, 1994. Before any further, I'll tell you a couple things. One, this is not a spoiler-free podcast. If you haven't watched the episode, I highly recommend you go and check it out and then come back and give me a listen. Secondly, if you're listening on one of the platforms that this podcast is now available on, please follow and feel free to check out my YouTube channel, Corn Productions, where additional content can be discovered. If you're already on my YouTube channel, please like, share, and comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like I said, this episode isn't as good as the previous episode, but it is still quite good. This is the episode that should have revealed that Krycek was in fact working for Cancer Man. We shouldn't have known about this prior to the moment he took out the trolley operator later in this episode, which is a scene that we will of course talk about. The episode begins with Mulder returning home and listening to Scully's message when he gets to the part where her abduction begins. Mulder rushes to Scully's house where he has flashes of the incident. Presumably this is his imagination of events based on the scene. And of course at one point he was a profiler and he is an investigator of crime. So these are probably educated guesses that he's imagining in his mind. We see Margaret Scully work her way into the apartment. This is Sheila Larkin's second appearance on the show, and the first time that she and Duchovny share a scene together. She wants to know where Scully is, and of course he doesn't know. Credits. The tagline changes to deny everything, which of course I think it was like the second time that's happened in this series. When we come back from the credits, Mulder is still talking to Margaret. We cut to Skinner in a room full of people, including Krycek and Cancer Man, puffing away in the background. Mulder says there is a question of how Dwayne could have found her in the first place. Mulder believes in Dwayne's story, but Scully didn't, as one agent points out, saying that Scully thought he got this one wrong. This agent is played by Michael David Sims, who has 5 appearances on the show, pretty sure as the same character. Skinner wants Mulder to turn over his files and doesn't want Mulder involved as he's too close to the case, and this is not an unreasonable position. He tasked Krycek with getting him home. Of course, that's never going to happen. Barry, meanwhile, is driving and gets pulled over, and this ends very badly for the cop. Another cop that was bad for his job. This one doesn't get fired because he's dead. Mulder has gotten word of the incident. He hears the tape and realizes he's headed to Sky Mountain. He instructs Krycek to get the car, and he says he will deal with Skinner, which, by the way, never happens. Pretty sure Mulder knows that Skinner would not let him get away with getting involved in this case, so he never talks to him. And I guess that's one way to deal with Skinner. Alone, we see Krycek talking to someone and tell them he's going to delay Mulder. They take off, and we see Cancer Man watching in another car. As Mulder drives, he nearly dozes off from lack of sleep, ends up almost crashing, and Krycek saves them from doing so. Mulder ends up going on the tram to get up the mountain despite the operator's objections, and this is Peter LaCroix, the guy who played the truck driver in EVE. And he has exactly one more episode to go in the episode Unrequited. It's a tense scene that has Krycek hit the tram operator with a gun and shutting it down. Mulder still gets up there, but not in time. He gets up there to see a flash of light and to see a happy Dwayne Barry, as now he won't be taken anymore. They have Scully. We see another light. This time it's a helicopter. In the interrogation room with Mulder, things get heated. Mulder chokes Barry, which is really hard to watch, by the way. Mulder leaves the room as Dwayne Barry apologizes. He tells Krycek that no one goes in or out of the room. He has more flashes to Scully's abduction. Mulder finds Krycek with the suspect, and basically Mulder yells at him saying, "Hey, you're not supposed to be in there. Nobody is." And of course Krycek talks about how he was complaining about having problems with his throat, how he was hacking and coughing. Skinner appears and tells Mulder that he disobeyed a direct order. Yeah, are you really surprised by that, Skinner? And then Dwayne Barry dies. This does not look very good for Mulder. He talks to the person performing the autopsy, which of course doesn't help very much. Krychek talks to Cancer Man. Cancer Man wants Mulder's story confirmed because he still wants Krychek trusted by Mulder. Krychek asks, why not just kill him? And Cancer Man says, it risks turning one man's quest into a crusade. Now, there was an ongoing discussion about this in the fandom, and by some high-profile people, such as writer Harrison Ellison, who asked, why not just simply kill Mulder rather than let him keep going? And this was their answer. And it's one that, and this is the first time we hear this answer, but it won't be the last time. And it's not really all that convincing. Mulder is questioned about Barry's death, and he suggests poison. He's asked, why is he so paranoid? And his response is because he finds it difficult to trust anyone. Yeah, I guess that's as good an answer as any. Mulder borrows Krychek's car. He tries to go and see Senator Matheson, and instead he sees Mr. X, who tells him that Senator Matheson can't help him right now because it's an election year. He states the tagline at the beginning of the episode that they only have one policy: deny everything. But in Krychek's car, he sees a cigarette and realizes he's in league with the Cancer Man. Mulder goes to Skinner with accusations against Krychek. He blames him for the death of Barry and the possible death of the tram operator. Skinner says he better have some facts to back this up. He tells someone, probably his secretary, that he needs to see Krychek immediately. As they wait, Skinner says to him that he can't protect him because this will soon become a larger bureau matter. He found cigarettes in his car, and Krychek doesn't smoke. Krychek was the last person to see Barry alive, and the last person to see the tram operator alive as well. He thinks he conspired to get Scully out of the way. Skinner asks if he thinks Scully is dead, and Mulder does not know. He gets a call back. Krychek is missing. They can't find him anywhere. Mulder wants to know who the hell these people are who can murder with impunity, and they can't do anything about it. Skinner tells him to let it go. Mulder says, like hell he will. Skinner says there's nothing he can do about it. And Mulder asks, well, what can Skinner do about it? In response, Skinner reopens the X-Files and says that's what they fear the most. Mulder sits outside somewhere. This is definitely not inside the office. He's joined by Margaret. He sits with her, and she tells him her dream. He suggests that perhaps it's scarier when she stops having the dreams. He hands her Scully's cross, and he asks if she was such a skeptic, then why did she wear it? And Margaret responds that she gave it to her on her 15th birthday, which is not exactly an answer, by the way. That doesn't necessarily explain why Scully wears the cross. She hands it back to him, and she says when he finds her, he can give it to her. Well, that is certainly optimistic, and she will completely lose that optimism by the very next episode. Well, not the next episode. The next time we see her, which will be 2 episodes from now. And the next episode is the one I'm going to skip. I'm actually going to do One Breath instead, and then move on to the Revival series, as I've said a couple times at this point. We see a shot of Mulder going to Skyline Mountain and looking up at the sky, wondering where his partner is. And that is where the episode ends. Like I said, not as good as the last episode, but still quite good. It does its job in getting Scully out of the way in a convincing fashion, and sets up something that will be a reoccurring theme throughout the rest of the series. And anyway, that's all I got for you for this episode, or for this video rather. If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are a number of ways to do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. You can join one of my Core Productions Facebook pages. You can buy something from the Core Productions store on Zazzle. You can buy me a copy. You can join my Core Productions membership for 99 cents a month. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video, as well as subscribing to my channel. This is Dave from Core Productions, signing off.